cares? Okay. And then regarding yesterday's talk with the ultrasounds, I posted all of the NCBI, the links on the YouTube because that video was able to save. And so it's all listed there. Okay. Like a lot of it here. I'm going to show you the, where you can find it. The screenshots of my face here when it saves. Here we go. Okay. This one from yesterday, the IG Live, I showed all of those studies here, and then there's more. There's another comment right here, one of the first comments where you got a bunch of links. If you guys want to go ahead, copy, paste those, save them somewhere, feel free. I did look more into, because I was like, you know what, I'm just more intrigued right now with the heel prick thing. I had a couple of you message me and say that it was actually a good thing, that it wasn't your own personal babies, but it was like somebody that you knew, that the heel prick thing was good, was a good thing, that they needed it because within a week or whatever, somebody got back and was like, oh my gosh, one baby like didn't have a thyroid or something is what they had found with the heel prick test. My only issue as it still stands is more the like social, legal, and ethical implications of this type of genetic testing, because many of you realize that they don't just dispose of that information. It's still stored and kept. So whether it should it still then be a procedure that is mandated? You know my answer to that. With anything, I don't think it should be forced ever. I think that what's happening is we're not given the proper informed consent and in anything that has to do with a hospital setting. So that's kind of where I'm having issues with the genetic screening. I don't like that I don't have a say and they get to just mail off my kid's DNA to whoever. You guys have seen, you know, when they say, oh, the government's just going to handle it, like you've seen what the government handles. You've seen what they're doing. You've got too many people in this country that are fine with giving 40% of their income because of roads. And then you've seen the roads, right? Like, have we seen some of these roads? So I don't really trust my kids' information, any information, with the most incompetent people. So that's my issue, is more of the ethical thing. And there's a lot of, actually the ACLU had problems with the genetic screening. You could check out the nap.edu, and I believe that's on 2057 chapter 10. So there's a lot of people that are conflicted about it. You know, cool. If you did the test, first of all, if you did the test and you found nothing, maybe call us and let us know you found nothing. That would be nice too. But then like, what are you doing with my kids' stuff? You know? So then I wanted to put that in there too, because once again, with all this stuff, I'm not saying don't go get it done, you know, with anything. Just do your research, okay? So, yeah. The other thing that I had added with all of those other links with the ultrasound chat is the studies on there showing the sound waves that are being emitted by the sonogram that have been assumed to have no effect on the fetal ear. But the research and links that I posted up are all challenging that with the discovering that an ultrasound examination can be as loud as that made by a subway train coming into the station to a developing baby. When pointed directly at a hydrophone, an ultrasound probe produced the sound that registered at 100 decibels. To put that into perspective, just 15 minutes of listening to headphones at 100 decibels can produce hearing loss and damage in an adult. So that's where all those links were. They're up on that YouTube. So the 2010 study that was done, that you'll see linked on there in NCBI, found that in 2005, hearing loss amongst adolescents jumped 30%, with 1 in 5 teenagers suffering noticeable hearing loss. Histories of 3 or more ear infections, firearm use, and loud noise exposure for 5 or more hours in a week were factors that were accounted for and determined not to have caused the significant increase. To further expand on the potential link between hearing loss and ultrasound, case-controlled studies found an association between prenatal ultrasound and delayed speech. That's all listed there. Have fun with that. There's like 40 studies that I had posted up. And if it's still something that you feel like it's more needed than not, do it. I will not sit back here and judge you. I promise. And to all those parents that are living with regret with any of these medical decisions that you felt you were pressured to make, I stand with you, and I don't want your story gaslighted either, okay? So I read through everything that came in. I read through every regret story, and out of like the hundreds, you know, all I'm seeing the difference in is the people that went and got it done through their rabbi, where the rabbi only took like a little bit and it was decent outcome. Okay. Like nothing, they weren't like, oh, everything was amazing. They were just like, you know, yeah, there was crying, but okay. Except there was one really bad one where the mom said, as the rabbi was holding down her brand new baby and she didn't want to do this, she was like crying buckets of tears over her baby, and she'll never forget the screams, and the screams are still haunting her to this day. So that one was probably like not a good one, but the rest of them seem to have a decent time. Bottom line is too, many of the people that are advocating for this, or the men that are like, well, everything, they will not even watch the video. Like the video is so bad on yourwholebaby.org or any of these circumcision videos. You won't even watch one, bro. Like you can't sit and watch 2 minutes of a video because why? Maybe because it looks like torture. But yet you can sit back and be like, well, I didn't have problems. Like, okay, watch the video then. There shouldn't be an issue, right? There shouldn't be a problem with you sitting there and watching it. Countless stories of like the mom and dad couldn't be in the room, or the dad was in the room and he had his back turned the entire time, or like the nurses had to attend to the dad because he was going to faint. Okay? Just to put that into perspective. How many men won't even men? And those videos are so graphic and terrible that you're not even allowed to post them on social media. They'll get flagged, removed, banned. You could have your account deleted. I mean, Pornhub can have an Instagram, right? You can literally have porn on social media, no problem. But God forbid you show a procedure that is so common in America that just continues to happen every day. And that's like, why? Why is that such a to people? Why is that? Is it because you're strapping a newborn baby down against his will and you're injecting his penis with something to numb it, and some of the time you don't even do the numbing? Like, is that why? And then like the blood comes out from just the injection alone, and many times you think your baby's sleeping, but they've really fainted. Oh, and you didn't know that there's side effect of lung failure, that some of these babies are put in so much shock that their lungs collapse. Oh. Keep defending it. Go for it. Keep defending barbarism. So then what should I do? Should I just wait until they're older? Yeah, wait until they're older maybe. Maybe wait until like they decide that it's something that they want to do. I don't know. I regret it, and I wish I could take it back. If I had the chance, I'd take it back. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have allowed that to happen to my baby boy. And apparently many of you feel the same. And now you got to raise your kid up in a society where he might be shamed by other kids, you know, for it looking to that is now the fault. What do we do? So then what is your solution? So your solution, society, is that since you don't want your kid to be made fun of, you'll have them go through a procedure like that so that they're not made fun of when they're older. Really? How about we educate? Here's a thought. How about we educate our children, boys and girls, that we all are different and we look different, and that's nothing to be made fun of. Really? It's very, very backwards right now. Or just, don't send your kids to a school like that. Guys, you saw that post yesterday, right, with the CNN article. Have you seen it? Have you seen the zombies? And many of them are like teenagers. And I seriously call BS on a lot of these accounts. I'm seeing the same story being written up over and over, and I check their account, and it's like random artwork, doesn't even look, it was an account that was created 2 months ago. And here's what the common comment is on these. I can't wait until I'm old enough and get to leave the house because my parents are anti-vaxxers and they won't let me get vaccinated. Like, I'm seeing the same Ethan Lindenberger style comment over and over again. And that's who I think it is. Just these are the trolls online. And I'm going, no, there's no way. There's no way you have this many informed parents that are anti-poison that are not talking to their 16-year-old. And if you are one of those, you need to seriously reevaluate everything you're doing on a day-to-day, especially if you're sending your kids off to school like this, because this is what they're being taught in school. This is what they're being taught. Somebody had sent me, crap, did you send it to me to my inbox here or to my Gmail account? Someone had sent me recent SAT questions, where in the SATs, it's all like there's a whole section there on vaccination and how it saves lives. So you're sending your kid off to this, you better be talking to your kid. And then you're going to give them social media, and then they're going to go on accounts like this, they're going to feel bullied, and that's what they're going to want to do. Like, really, back then, kids were like, I can't wait to leave this house. I'm going to go get a job and make my own money. That's how I rebelled. I was like, Mom's not giving me any money to go to Fedco. Mom's not giving me any money to go to Target. Like, I can't wait to get a job. That's how I rebelled. I can't wait to get a job so that I can save up enough money so I can get my own car. And then with that car, I'm going to go get another job. And I'm just going to keep making money so I can stop asking my parents for money. That would be great. Then, Mom. Like, that's how kids are rebelling now? I'm going to go poison myself because you're not going to let me poison myself. What? How about you get a job? Like, how about you go and, like, be a productive member of society? Like, that would be nice. Or, I don't know, get a tattoo. Because you can always remove a tattoo later, you know? Just make sure that the ink that they're using doesn't have too many heavy metals. I see that there's a lot of, like, you know, more organic tattoos out there. Get a tattoo. Just write on it, like, I hate my mom for not vaccinating me. But then, like, in the meantime, research some of this a little bit, you know? I know. A lot of people are asking, too, with the homeschooling. Guys, guess what? It is going to happen. It's past the elementary school thing. I'm just, right now, we're getting our things in order. Leave me alone. I don't judge you, so don't judge me. Who am I sending my kid out? You know what? This is why I'm struggling pulling anything up. I'm banned from freaking Facebook. I forgot. I'm like, why can't I find that thing? Yeah, that's right. I can't be on Facebook for like 4 more days. Really quick with the fetal monitor system or the fetal monitoring thing. Where's Mary? Mary sent it to me. I was talking about it yesterday and they wouldn't let me show it on here because it looked so scary. But she sent me this. Did you send it to my sock account Facebook or did you send it to my account Facebook? Why do you have a sock account? Because Facebook bans me 3 times a year. That's why. So I'm like, here, this one. Awful. I don't think Senator Pan banned this account. Like, I'm blocked from his account, so you guys keep tagging me in their stuff. Oh, here. Mary saved me yesterday. So this is what I meant by the internal fetal monitor that they're using, where they also use ultrasound too. So both the mom and the baby are going to be affected. But when you think that when you're at the hospital that they're like, oh, we need to get a heart reading on your baby, this is what they're doing. So this internal fetal monitoring, when you're all numbed up, they're sticking this into the baby. They have to drill it with this drill into the baby's scalp. Okay? That's what that is. And it's a very common procedure. And some of the time, though, it doesn't work out. And some of the time, babies come out with it still drilled into their head. So sometimes that's still stuck in their head. And, there was one instance. So I have a highlight on my page that's called the internal fetal monitoring. And you'll see a story where one was so horrific that they accidentally drilled it into the baby's eye, and the baby came out blind because they thought that they were drilling into the baby's head. So can you imagine you're in there trying to come out, and this thing is being screwed into your eyeball, so the baby came out blind. That itself would make the baby's heart skyrocket. Yes, that's the irony in that, Liz. It's like the occurrences too of them doing that. Then within like 10 minutes, like, oh my gosh, the baby's heart is it's so sick. It's really already so sick and awful that this happens. Oh, and then they put that little cap on your baby's head. And how many moms, after I did that initial highlight, were messaging me going, no wonder, like within like the first week of their life, I always wondered why they had this now bald spot where just hair didn't grow on that spot for like weeks. And then they put that hat so that, I know that that's not the only reason that that they have the hat. I know that they're like, no, the hat's supposed to keep the warmth in your baby's head. Yeah, but it also doubles as hiding the fact that they drilled into your baby's head while you were left numbed. What? Yes, I didn't realize this either. This is something I only learned about like beginning of the year. I had no idea. So yeah, the baby. Man, if you don't think this is a spiritual war, that they're after our babies with everything. First of all, they've convinced us, oh man, I could do an entire thing on it. They have convinced us that you should have a say when you get pregnant, that first of all, you need to be using all of the hormones, either get on the pill, or you could take the shot, or you could insert this, or you can inject that. And all of that stuff already comes with side effects, and it can cripple you. It can leave you with random allergies. It can leave you with all kinds of issues, right? In just you being like, I'm woman, hear me roar. I want sexual freedom to just like sleep with whoever, whenever. Not saying all of us are like this, but this is the society we're in, and it's acceptable. And if you dare question it, you look like a bigot. So this is the label that they'll put on you if you're ever like, wait a minute. No, they're like, look guys, STDs are running rampant right now. And but you have every right to just like swipe left, swipe right, sleep with whoever you want. It's okay because we've got all of these little devices and things you can choose from, freedom of choice, when all of it is actually shit. Okay? But look here, freedom of choice. Pick your poison. What would you like to just not have to get pregnant? Oh, okay, ... And then not even realizing that it's not even effective. If by the chance that you do get pregnant, there could be issues, you could miscarry, something. This poor baby has already, with just what you've done to your body, which like we said yesterday, you're the vessel, is now the baby enters, now the baby's there in this vessel that's already been so tampered with that they start miraculously growing a little bit. They start miraculously like still thriving because life finds a way. Yeah, okay, life finds a way, but what have you done to yourself? And then it's growing, And then it's like, oh, things are getting cozy now. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe mom didn't know that she was pregnant for weeks and weeks and weeks. Maybe she was still drinking, still smoking, still whatever. Who knows? She now knows she's pregnant, but she wants to go and listen to that heartbeat. Oh, okay. What's that gonna mean, Mom? Well, it's gonna mean that there's gonna be this thing that's going to be like the sound of a jet engine pretty much in your developing ears. There's one. And we're just gonna like poke and prod at you. Oh, and then like by next month, we're gonna do it again. It's gonna be super invasive, and we're gonna offer your mom the Tdap, the flu shot, things that have not been tested for safety in pregnancy. But it's okay. We're going to tell her that she should stay away from deli meat. We're going to tell her that, like, she shouldn't eat sushi. It's okay, but we're going to go ahead and inject her with, like, polysorbate 80, formaldehyde, high doses of aluminum. We don't know what that's going to do to your brain. A lot of this is DNA altering too, but we don't know. It doesn't matter. What's it matter? What's it matter? Because we're going to give mommy a red Band-Aid with a W on it and $400 to be a Walgreens flu shot fighter. It's a sick, twisted world we're in right now. Whatever happened to this? What happened to this, medical industry? What happened to this? What? Oh, and if your baby miraculously survives this, if they survive past all of the poisoning you've done to your body prior to getting pregnant, the miracle that is pregnancy. If they survived the flu shot you were given, some of these moms are given it twice because there's 2 flu seasons that in your pregnancy. It depends on when you get pregnant and if you pass 2 flu seasons. Some of them get it twice. Oh, and then the RhoGAM too, because mommy has Rh negative and doesn't have the nasty monkey blood in her system like 85% of this population does. So we're going to offer this to her so that we can mix her blood up right now, because we don't want to tell her, wow, you actually don't have the monkey blood in your system. That's impressive. With everything we've tried to do to you via the food, the air, the water, you still slipped through the cracks, didn't you? We got to remind you that you're actually a slave. So we're going to lie to you and tell you that there's a traumatic incident that can happen and it's going to mix the blood with you and your baby. And like, so here it is. So some moms do this multiple times without even thinking to go get checked first, have the significant other go get checked first on the intake. Like, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to just go ahead and offer it to you. And then if you so happen to make it to where you're in your final trimester and ready to give birth to this miracle, because literally a miracle. I don't even have the time today to get into what they're going to do to you at the hospital. Just to ensure that that by any chance, and then after all of this, after they're going to, wow, the percentage of babies that end up in the NICU that are going to survive, you're going to have these same mombies are going to walk out of this near-death experience, because that's what the hospital birth is, basically. They're going to walk out of there just grateful that they didn't die, and grateful that they were at a place that had all of these things ready to go on the in case that something happened to their baby, without even realizing it's because they're in the hands of these demons to begin with. But no, you know what? It doesn't matter. They don't want to hear it. They're just grateful. They're just grateful that they made it out alive. It's psychotic. It's psychotic. Which is probably a good thing why I'm not going to save my TRS lives from yesterday. I mean, if you were able to catch them, cool. Because I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. This is why Jeff handles all of that right now, because I cannot with parents who are like, is this one ingredient that has been generally recognized as safe, and they have willingly and blindly allowed poison into their kids. They'll put their kids on antibiotics in like a snap. They won't even research. They'll give their kids an antibiotic and you're like, have you read the ingredients in that? Like, do you even know what that is, what you're allowing into your kid? But no, they're gonna need me to sit with them for like 30 minutes and try to convince them about a zeolite. It's like, that's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I'm just like, hey, here's a thought, just don't. Why don't you just not? I'm not cut out for this. I'm not cut out for this. I'm not. You keep telling me I am, and I'm not. I don't like it. So, yeah. It is madness what we've brought our children into, okay? Then they miraculously survive this hospital birth where they might get something screwed into their head, where they're gonna take their first breath and somebody is going to inject them with something that comes with a black box warning, with a side effect of death. And then if they survive that one, they're gonna inject them with the Hep B, because your baby was born into a very dirty, dirty world, and there's STDs everywhere, and we just don't trust you, and we don't trust your baby. So we're gonna just give them this now. And oh my gosh, you make it home, you're all alive after all of this. And 8 weeks go by, and between the 8 weeks, they're going to check mom and make sure that she's not tired and feeling very depressed, which she likely is because she gave birth in the country like America that allows all of this. So mommy might get on postpartum depression medication within 4 weeks of giving birth. Oh, but don't shame moms who do that. I'm not shaming you. You felt depressed? Yeah, you probably felt depressed because you had to get up a month after, go to a place, like dress yourself, go to a place, take a questionnaire that's asking you things like, do you feel tired? No shit. And if you circle yes to any of the things in the questionnaire, that is the doctor's cue to not care about you. It's to offer you postpartum depression medication, because they're going to get a cut from that. You know, they're not gonna be like, have you heard of a postpartum doula? These people, I've never heard of a postpartum doula up until this last go around. There's people out there who you can pay, but guess what? Insurance doesn't cover it. But it's like not even that much. What are the ones locally here? What, $200? But that includes 4 visits to your house after the birth. People think that they just need the doula prior. The postpartum doula service is like, they'll come over twice a week after you've given birth to just like for several hours be at your house, to whether it's wash your dishes, whether it's like be with your baby, play with the older kids so that the older kids are distracted and that they feel like they're getting loved too. Like anything you need, mama. If you need to just take a shower, like they're there doing that for you. Like this is the kind of care that is not covered by insurance. Ask yourself why. But it's actually the care that women need. And we're too afraid to ask for anything because we're so busy looking at our phones, looking at all of the other perfect mothers and the highlight reel, thinking, wow, look at, she can do this, because this is what moms do. It's like that's the number one thing they want to do after giving birth, being with the baby, that they can't wait to get on there a month later and just show you that they can fit into their jeans from last year. Like, when in reality, that mother needs you to come over to her house with a home-cooked meal. She needs you to, don't ask people anymore, what do you need? Think about what would I need, and then just do it, because they'll need it. When I didn't ask for anything, and I was miserable, miserable. After giving birth to Sebastian the second time around, and this time we didn't have the help from my parents, because they were like, well, it's already the second child, we were there for the first, I had an aunt who was not like blood related, but she was a friend of my mom who just isn't on social media, drove 2 hours to my house, showed up, and when she showed up, I was like, oh no, Tita, you don't have to be here for, she literally grabbed my baby, told me to go away and just like shower up, do what I needed to do. She stayed at my house the entire day. She cooked us 4 meals. She put everything, she bagged it up, put stuff in the freezer. I was literally like, I broke down crying. I couldn't believe that, like, to me, I was like, she's like an angel. That was the gift I needed. I didn't need the baby shower. I didn't need, like, I needed the help. And we don't have that in this country. Other countries, they have that because they have the help. I mean, they're not perfect. There's no perfect place. There's no perfect country. But women are just, it's like, you don't ask the woman who just went through this whole process, what do you need? Is there anything? Like, you don't. You just go and look around and you determine what it is that they need, you know? And it's like, we're just taught not to ask. We really are. Or that, like, it's shameful to have to ask. You know, I did that for a couple friends already where I just, like, went over. I brought extra breast milk because I didn't want them to feel awkward that they had to ask me for breast milk. I just brought it. I was like, here, I'm going to keep this in your freezer, whether you use it or not. Like, if you don't use it, let me know within this 6-month mark so that I can give it to somebody else. But, like, if you might need it, and there's instructions on there, and then I'll, like, stay in their kitchen and I'll make, like, a big pot of soup and whatever. Like, just doing these things and keeping them that company, like, it's amazing that, like, maybe that's all you need and not to get addicted to medication that's going to come with a bunch of side effects. Oh, it's okay. Oh, society wants to tell you it's okay. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be depressed. We know what you went through, believe me. We know what we put you through. It's fucked. So we get it. You can be depressed. But here's what we need you to understand. Like, if you just take these pills daily, it might not fix your depression, but at least you got the acknowledgement that you're depressed. And we know you're depressed. Oh, thanks. What am I going to do with this? Well, you should take it and then come back for your refill. Let us know. Oh, but before you come back for your refill, in 4 weeks from now, you're going to have to take your baby in to an appointment that's going to change and alter their lives forever. Oh, what is that? It's their 2-month well baby check, where we're going to make sure that we measure, weigh, do all the cute stuff, and then we're going to offer them up about 6 more of these that they got, you know, from day one. We're going to offer them more stuff. That's what this is. Your baby's going to wake up happy, miraculously, after all it's been through. Hopefully you're breastfeeding your baby, but don't let anybody tell you that you have to breastfeed your baby. Don't let them shame you like that. So you're going to take your baby in, and then you're going to wonder why your baby woke up happy, why they got injected 7 times, and why they're screaming all night long. And you're going to call that same doctor in this twisted, sick cycle, and you're going to say, hey, my kid is turning blue. They're screaming. It's a scream I've never heard before. And you've been with this baby day in and day out for 8 weeks. And this doctor that just met your baby for 10 minutes is going to tell you over the phone, that's normal. You know why they can say that's normal? Because it is normal for your body to get that burny feeling. It is normal for your body to react and lash out, and you want to scream because your brain is being inflamed, because that's a side effect. It's normal what's happening to your baby because they've just been through poison. So they're technically not wrong when they tell you that's normal. And if your baby survives that, you're going to come back in 2 more months and we're going to do it again. And after the mom and dad have already been through, if their marriage survives, if you're like, My babies don't have health issues. But it's hard enough having a baby in the first year or two of marriage, or just like having a baby and not knowing what to do and communicate with this brand new thing. Being like, that is hard enough on a marriage. Insert all of these problems that now, because they don't know whose fault it is, because it's not the system's fault, the parents are going to start turning on each other. They're going to start turning on each other. Maybe it's something genetic with your family. I don't know. Do you know your family's history? No, I don't know. This is what's going to happen. Dad might take to drinking. Mom might take to getting hooked on meds. And this same sick cycle. And if these people still don't wake up, and they're watching CNN one night after their child is their immune system has completely crashed because they've been poisoned over and over and over again, these parents that have not woken up yet are going to be sitting on their couch watching CNN when it says that these things are not even guaranteed. There's not even a 10% guarantee that on these things, but oh my gosh, there's all these parents that are not doing what I did. They're not doing what I did, and my kid is sick. They should have their kids taken away from them. How dare these parents? How dare these parents not sacrifice their kid for the herd like I did? And my kid has a compromised immune system now because I've compromised it with poison. How dare they get to just go to Disneyland? How dare they? How dare they get to send their kids to school too? They should have their kids removed. Sick, twisted, moronic. Oh, I should have my kid removed for not poisoning them, but you get to... And that is when you get to certain levels in all of this and in your discovery, this is... How do you do it? How do you do it? Well, I try to wake up the sane ones, and then I try to keep my eye out for the insane ones, because they will be the first to report. And this is how, and society is that sick and deranged. We got, what did I say? What did I say last spring? I said, watch out this time of year, not just for shedding, but for the mystery-like illnesses that are polio-like, that are going to happen always around back to school time. Why? Because especially with the polio vaccine, because polio didn't go anywhere. We have had these conversations, and guess what's popping up all over the news right now? I'll just pull up one of these articles. When was this written? October 21st, 2019. This is on KCN TV. This is NBC News. Okay, study is pointing to a virus as a culprit in polio-like illness paralyzing children. Since 2014, there have been nearly 600 cases of AFM, which is a mystery illness that can start like a cold, but can quickly paralyze children. What is going on? Mystery polio-like illness? Very rare. Oh, it's sometimes called acute flaccid myelitis, AFM, and it is very rare. But let's look up the definitions for a second. Let's just look up the definitions. All right, we got polio. And what is polio actually? Right? Okay, your muscles get weak. It can sometimes lead to paralysis. Okay, that's just by I could do that search on Google. That's polio, okay? Infectious disease caused by the polio virus. In about 0.5% of cases, there is a muscle weakness resulting in the inability to move. Well, crap. Okay, but what's a side effect listed on many of these vaccine inserts? Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is GBS. But GBS and polio, they're not the same, are they not? Because Guillain-Barré syndrome is a rapid onset muscle weakness caused by the immune system damaging the peripheral nervous system. Both are attacks on the nervous system. Interesting. Both have the same side effect of muscle weakness. This one can begin in the feet and hands for GBS. It often spreads to the arms and upper body, with both sides being involved. Can cause paralysis. What in the heck? That sounds like you remember when you were like in middle school and you would read the Cliff Notes because you didn't want to read the entire book? So you'd take the Cliff Notes and then your teacher would be like, don't look at the Cliff Notes. And you'd be like, I didn't. But all you did was just reword the sentence so that it doesn't look like you copied from the Cliff Notes, but you still kind of did. Okay, then we got AFM, which is acute flaccid myelitis. Let's look at the definition for that. It is a serious condition, but it is rare. It affects the nervous system, specifically the area of the spinal cord called gray matter, along with the nervous system again, which causes muscle and reflexes in the body to become weak. Oh, okay, so Guillain-Barré causes muscle weakness. Poliomyelitis causes weakness of the muscles. Acute flaccid myelitis causes the muscles to become weak. Well, shit, that means they're 3 different things. I want to scream right now. Then we got another one called transverse myelitis, which is another mystery illness that is not polio, but it is polio-like. And transverse myelitis is an inflammation of both sides of one section of the spinal cord. Oh, we got the spinal cord again. This neurological disorder often damages the insulating material covering nerve cell fibers in the myelin. Oh man, but wait, transverse myelitis interrupts the messages in the spinal cord nerves. Oh, more spinal cord talk again. This can cause pain, muscle weakness, paralysis, sensory problems. So is it the same thing or is it a different thing? Because it all kind of sounds like the same thing. No, it's not the same thing because as you can see, Talia, we have reconstructed the sentence to muscle weakness was not at the beginning of this sentence for that one. It was at the end of the sentence. And we've just we've re-paraphrased it. So it's obviously not the same thing. Oh my God. What is this? What is happening? What is happening? But no, we now have a polio-like syndrome that is not polio, but it is polio-like going on in this country. Doctors have a chief suspect. Oh, doctors have a chief suspect, but proof that it's the culprit germ has been frustratingly elusive. What? What do you mean it's been frustratingly elusive? I know I don't have a medical degree or anything, but... And if you don't have a cause, you can't have a vaccine. A good enough microscope in sense to find things suspected were there. We need to nail down a suspect to this. Breathe. Because how many of you are sending me these new articles, new illness, new mystery? This is some Nancy Drew could have solved this shit in 10 seconds. Okay? Okay, this is going to kick me off and I got to hop right back on and we will go over a little bit more on this mystery illness.